Assembly Member Qureshi.
Thank you, Chair. Mr Mayor, 2014 was a terrible year for air quality in the capital, with your watered-down ultra-low emission zone and new evidence emerging all the time about how bad the public health impact is. Won't your budget just be another year in which we wasted in trying to tackle the silent killer?
I don't think so at all, Murad, though I respect, obviously, the stuff that you have done on air quality and the care and the passion that you devoted to it. The fact is that since I have been mayor, the number of people living in zones, in areas where there's too much nitrogen dioxide has been halved. So we've reduced the number of Londoners greatly who suffer from excess nitrogen dioxide, which is really nasty stuff. We've reduced emissions of NOx by 20%, of PM10s and PM2.5 by 15%. The ULEZ, contrary to what you say, will actually be a game changer. The ultra-low emission zone will be really effective in taking us two-thirds of the way towards compliance with the EU standards and reduce by 70% the number of people in central London living in areas with excess pollution of all kinds. So to reduce that by 70% will be a great thing. And I think that the ULEZ, far from being watered down,
well, with respect, Mr Mayor, you won't be around when that comes in place. You've kicked into the long grass. No. And I do think the debate has moved on now to diesel emissions, and I've no doubt that will dominate this calendar year. Yeah. But can I move on to another area? I was grateful
for the Labour shadow minister who admitted that it was...
Well, no, I think it is progress made on that front. But can I also move on to something that some of your officers confirmed to the Environment Committee, that you've missed your interim targets for decentralised energy production. What faith have Londoners got to having difficulties with their energy bills and want to see energy security, that this is actually a top priority for you?
Well, for instance,
you want to actually see more decentralised energy sources here in London?
Well, absolutely, and I hope that you will have been impressed. This budget allows us to go forward with the rebuilding or the reactivation, I should say, of the Greenwich power station that you'll be familiar with. We're going to put in 6 brand new gas engines in the old turbine hall. This was originally the generator for London's trams. It will provide cheaper, low-carbon power for London's tube network. From memory, I think it can account for about 15 or 20% of the entire tube network's needs, which is a huge need. By the way, the London tube network needs about as much energy as the city of Leeds, so that's a huge output. The waste heat will be channeled into a local heat network of the kind that you and I both want to see, heating schools and homes in the Greenwich area, reducing utility bills for local residents. And when you think about all those incredible developments now happening on the peninsula, it will be a boon for them.
Thank you for that update. I know TfL have been working on that for many, many years. It's just happened it's materialised in your time here.
Oh, I see. I wonder why.
I'll be more keen to see.
Happens in materialism in my time.
See what you do
actually
as
had the guts and determination to do something.
Havering Council what they should be really doing with the solar farm that they've just rejected in Upminster. But can I move on to my third area of questioning, which is the record number of noise complaints we've had at Heathrow with the recent flight path testing. It was reported in the Even Standard as much as 86,000 complaints were made over the last 5 months of last year. Isn't it time that you followed up the Labour Group's suggestion of re-establishing the GLA noise team, which we put last year, we're putting to you again, and particularly given your statutory responsibilities and the need to have a third party verifying these noise complaints, even before we have a discussion on how to deal with this?
I mean, I hesitate to say this because I haven't thought about it in great deal, and I'm afraid I haven't studied your proposal with enough attention yet. But superficially, that sounds to me like a very interesting suggestion, and I'm looking around. There is support across the chamber for this, so I'm going to look at that. Let me say, I think it would also be helpful in the debate if there was some clarity from the Labour Party at large about how they view yet more noise and yet more pollution at Heathrow, because I have talked to Mr Miliband about this, and I am very far from happy about what he seems to be saying. I think Murad, you and other Labour Assembly members need to get your leader in a vice-like grip and get him to cough out his policy.
Thank you.
It is far from clear what Labour proposes to do.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I'll take up your suggestion.